Now, this time of year is often associated with festive fun and feasting, but it's also a time where our health service is pushed to its limit. Last year, over 2.3 million people were admitted to A&E across England throughout December. So, to help you stay safe over the festive period, Dr. Amir is here with some very important advice. Welcome, Amir.
Thank you
for joining
us. I love coming in. Thank you.
Now, I mentioned there 2.3 million people. Why do you think it's so high around this time of year?
Well, it's cold, so there's lots of colds and flus and infections going around. In the wintertime, heart attacks and strokes are more common as well. But running up to Christmas, there's people rushing around, so slips, trips, bumps, burns, cuts, all really common. It's all stuff we see either in minors or majors in A&E.
What are the most ridiculous sort of injuries that you see that you think, what were you thinking?
People, because they're rushing around, they forget to put oven gloves on. And so when they take things out of the oven, you see burnt hands all the time. And that's super common.
And obviously we're all eating a lot more. So one thing I do often think about at Christmas is people choking.
Yeah.
Because the thought of somebody choking in front of me and not knowing what to do is terrifying.
Totally. And we're talking while we're eating, and that really increases the risk. Can I show you what to do if someone is choking on you?
I'm slightly...
That will be very
We're gonna do it.
I'm slightly hungover, so don't press too hard.
I won't. So if you notice someone choking, an adult or any child over the age of 1, come to the side of them, encourage them to cough if they are coughing. if they're not and they can't get it up, get them to lean forward slightly, and then with the heel of your hand, you want to hit them in the middle of their shoulder blades. You have to be quite forceful with it because you're trying to force that thing out. I'm not going to do it on Jane. I'm just going to do it quite softly. And in between each back blow, look to see if what's come out has come out.
But in reality, you would do it as hard as necessary.
As hard as you can, yep. And you do that up to 5 times. If that hasn't worked, you move to the abdominal thrust, which is the same as the Heimlich manoeuvre. So you get your fist, you put it just above the belly button, grab it with your other hand there, and what you want to do is pull upwards and inwards as hard as you can. So upwards and inwards, you repeat that 5 times.
And again...
Really firmly, firmly. And you check between each one whether it's come out. If that's not working, you've got to dial 999 and get help. But keep going with those back blows 5 times and those abdominal thrusts 5 times.
Great advice.
On the subject of choking,
yes.
I have what's known as a hiatus hernia, which means that if you looked at an X-ray, I'm clipped like an elastic band around my esophagus here.
That's right.
And you mentioned that everybody's talking. Now, for example, I couldn't have a steak. Because I just couldn't digest that, I wouldn't get it down. But the problem is that sometimes when you are chatting, you don't chew the food enough. And then it sticks, and it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you can't really do the technique you've shown Jane.
No.
It has to kind of drop. So I walk quite a bit.
Yes, that kind of getting it moving and drinking lots of water as well to try and push it down.
But it's upsetting.
It is. Hiatus hernias are very difficult.
And you've just said there about all of those techniques for adults and children over 1.
Yeah.
I'm obviously just a new nanny.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Don't ask me when the birthdays are. Anyway, what do you do in a situation where it's a baby?
So if you've got a child under 1, and that's when they are weaning or they're picking things off the table, again, if they are choking or if they're coughing, see if they can get it up themselves with coughing, but obviously babies can't. So a child under 1, the best thing to do is get your forearm, grab them, hold them gently, under their chin, so you're supporting their heads. But again, you want to get them in the middle of their shoulder blades there with the heel of your hand, and you're checking each time, in between each 5 of them, whether it's come out. If that doesn't work, flip the child over, again, on your forearm. But we're not going into their abdominal this time, we're going into their chest. So in between their nipples, 2 fingers, point them downwards slightly, and you're pushing forwards and upwards like that in between their nipples 5 times.
Quite hard as well.
Very hard. 1 to 2 centimetres you want to push down there to make sure it comes out.
Do you think that people are scared of doing it in case A, they do it wrong, or B, they hurt somebody?
I can understand that completely, but the alternative is that they choke to death, and it's just not worth it. No. Go for it. You know, just really hit them hard, press hard as you can. It will save their lives.
Yeah.
around the dinner table, there's a lot of eating and chatting and talking and drinking and everything else that's going on. But what about when allergies come into play as well, and you don't necessarily know about those allergies?
Yeah, so if you've got lots of people coming for dinner, particularly if you've got new people coming round, there could be allergies. Always have that conversation first. On a WhatsApp group, ask them, are they allergic to anything? Keep packaging as well, because Christmas stuff comes in lots of packaging. There's loads of hidden ingredients. If you've got someone with an allergy coming round, put all the packaging to one side so they can check it themselves. And don't mix kind of utensils and trays and all that, because allergens can spread. The one thing I will say is people often confuse allergies and celiac disease. Celiac disease isn't an allergy. It's an autoimmune condition where the immune system attacks the small lining of the gut and it can cause real damage. But you've got to be really careful with cross-contamination when it comes to nuts, shellfish, soy, but also for celiac, gluten. Really important.
And actually, the hostess or the host, you have to be very sort of responsible for that, don't you? Like not to sort of put nuts or things that you'd normally put in.
Definitely.
So you have a duty in a way.
You do have a duty, and if you're really worried and you don't know what to do, you could ask that person to bring something themselves as well, if you want.
And what about how and when do you use an EpiPen?
The EpiPen.
Yes, so EpiPens are really important. People with serious allergies will carry them around. So different people will have different reactions, and depending on their reaction, they will tell you when they need their EpiPen. So it could be at the start of a rash, if they're feeling dizzy, or if they feel their throat closing up. So an EpiPen, this isn't one, this is just a marker, but an EpiPen looks like a bit like this marker. It's got a blue top and an orange bottom. And remember, blue to the sky, orange to the thigh. So you take off the safety cap, which is usually the blue one, and then all you have to do is press just really firmly into the side of the thigh as hard as you can, and you leave it there for 3 seconds. You normally hear a second click, and that means it's gone in, and then you can take it off and you can rub that down. Always call 999, even if your symptoms improve, because you can have a second allergy. If your symptoms don't improve after 5 minutes, repeat that. Remember, blue to the sky, orange to the thigh. Hold it like that. Don't put your fingers either end of the pen.
You talked about how a lot of the incidents coming in from just carelessness and grabbing the oven tray, which I think is absolutely terrifying. But there are a lot of old wives' tales around burns, around cuts. What's the definitive? Because don't put butter on the burns. There seems to be one that just goes around all the time, or cold water.
If you get a burn, the best thing to do is immediately run it under lukewarm water for 20 minutes.
I always thought it was cold water.
It's not cold water. Cold water. So when you take your finger off the burn or your hand off the burn continues to go downwards into your skin, even after the sauce has been removed. Cold water stresses your skin further and actually promotes that downward movement of the burn. Lukewarm water controls the temperature and allows blood flow to the burn, so it's getting its oxygen and its nutrients, so it heals better. Once you've done that, 20 minutes, just remove any jewellery or clothing, because it can start to swell and it'll be really hard to remove it after the swelling's there. Wrap it only in loose cling film. No creams, no toothpaste, no butter, just cling film. It keeps it clean, it keeps it dry, and it stops it irritating.
But keep it loose, obviously.
Keep it loose. Any burns bigger than your hand, any burn on a child, any burn over a joint or a face, go to the hospital.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you for all of that information.